You're about to tap into the digital marketing strategies that separate thriving law firms from the ones struggling to keep up. Join James Campbell as we break down the roadblocks holding your practice back and reveal the insider tactics attorneys are using to scale past 7 figures. From cutting-edge digital marketing tips to exclusive interviews with industry leaders, we're giving you the playbook to attract higher quality clients, dominate your market, and build a firm that runs like a growth machine. Your next breakthrough starts now. This is the Marketing Lawcast.
The game is changing.
With their backs against the wall, estate planning attorneys had to decide. Would they adopt AI and give themselves a chance to win? Or would they sit on the sidelines and watch the game play out without them? The stakes are high. Adapt or die. With focus, they learn new systems. With intention, they gain confidence. With execution, they will bring victory.
We have integrity marketing. We can't lose. Let's go win this thing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is James Campbell. I'm the Chief Growth Officer for Integrity Marketing Solutions, and I'm really excited that you're here, and I'm excited to share something that's changing the game for estate planning attorneys, and that's artificial intelligence. Now, I know AI can feel like one of those buzzwords, but and everybody's talking about it, but what does it really mean for your practice? That's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Let's go ahead and get into today's training. Here's the game plan for our time together. First, we'll talk about why AI matters now, why it's not something you can just wait and see on. Then we'll look at some practical ways attorneys are already using AI tools. After that, I'll walk you through what happens if you don't move on this, because there's a real risk in waiting. And finally, I'll share the winning game plan that we're using with firms just like yours, and I'll take your questions live at the end. Sound good? Okay, ready, break. Okay, the playing field has changed. So we'll start here with the fact that the playing field has just changed. If you've searched on Google recently, you may have noticed those AI-generated answers. That's Google's new SGE, or Search Generative Experience. Bing is doing it with Copilot, and Gemini is in the mix, kind of presents some of those answers. These tools are starting to serve up AI-generated summaries before you even get to the regular list of links. And here's the scary part. If your firm isn't being pulled into those summaries, it's likely you don't exist. It's kind of like you're not even part of that conversation. And that's where opportunity and the urgency comes in. Think about it this way. In football, when you're in the red zone, you don't have time to mess around. You've got essentially like 3 downs to get to the end zone, or you have to settle for a field goal. You've got to execute the play. And that's where we are with digital marketing right now. Early movers who get into these AI search results are the ones who are going to score. So what does AI mean for estate planning firms? Now, let me be clear on something right away. AI isn't here to replace you. There are a lot of tech companies out there that are trying to sell documents, but it's not the same as meeting with an estate planning attorney. Estate planning is deeply personal work. Your clients need your expertise, your empathy, and your judgment. And no machine can replace that. What AI can do is amplify your marketing power. It can help you do a number of things. It can help you cut down on wasted dollars on ads that don't convert. It can help you engage prospects 24/7, even when you're at court or you're at home with your family. It can predict who's actually ready to hire you. And most importantly, it can help you show up as the trusted authority when people ask AI about estate planning attorneys. It's like having an assistant coach who's constantly watching film, analyzing plays, and helping you make smarter calls. One of our clients, Sean McCammon, was spending money on ads, but not seeing the return that he wanted. When we stepped in and used AI-powered ad optimization, my friends, the difference was incredible. For just over $1,000 in ad spend, we brought in 43 high-quality leads. These are qualified people. And their competitor spent about the same, and they got 8. So 43 to 8 was the score in that game. The average cost per conversion in his market was about $45. And when we optimized with AI, letting AI tools see what content is performing and then predict for us which content is going to perform in the future, we were able to get his ad spend down to less than $25. And with remarketing, we got it even lower to less than $8. And that's the difference between throwing up a Hail Mary and hoping someone catches it versus running a precision play that's designed to score against the defense that's out there. Here's another way that AI is helping attorneys. It's with client engagement. Most attorneys I talk to say the same thing. They say, James, I don't have time to chase down every lead. And I get it, okay? But here's a problem. Clients don't wait. If they fill out a form on your website and don't hear back quickly, they're already on to the next option. And AI chatbots and virtual assistants, they can change that for you. They can answer common questions, they can answer them instantly, they can schedule consultations, and even pre-qualify people for you, all while you're busy with other clients or on the phone with someone. If you're not familiar with AI-powered chatbots or virtual assistants, my friends, you absolutely should be. Here are the basic components. First, you need to create a custom GPT for your firm and train it on how your firm operates. And having great SOPs, your standard operating procedures, is an absolute must. After your custom GPT is trained, you employ the chatbot and virtual assistants and have them be trained by your custom GPT. And with an advanced CRM, sort of like high level, which is what we use for our clients, you can integrate these bots into your website and marketing. This is exactly what we do for our AI-powered SEO clients. It's like having 13 men on the field playing against 11. And that means you're not leaving people sitting on the sidelines. You're getting them into the game right away. Okay, one of my favorite uses of AI is predictive lead scoring. So in a CRM, AI can track how people are engaging with you, like who's opening your emails, who's visiting your estate planning pages, who's booking consults. Then it ranks those prospects so you know exactly who's most likely to hire you. So instead of spending time chasing cold leads, you can focus on the people who are ready to say yes. That is a huge shift in efficiency. When we started doing this within IMS clients, we quit wasting time with people who we thought might be a good client for us, and instead focused our efforts on the people that we knew would be a great client for us. Somebody that was already engaging, already asking great questions, already had the standards met of what makes a great client for IMS. We're doing the exact same things for our estate planning clients and being able to tell who's about ready to hire. And then we focus our time and attention on them. Another way that AI really helps is with enhancing the content and authority and how Google and prospects see us online. And content is still the king, but AI is changing how we create and distribute content. So let's take Stone Arch Law in Minneapolis as an example. When we stepped in, they were spending way too much for every conversion. And with AI-enhanced SEO, optimized content, they doubled their lead flow and reduced their cost per lead. And they also saw a 70% increase in traffic. But here's the thing, Phil's firm is already a great firm, but they were getting overtaken and not playing by the rules that AI was setting out. And once we started following those rules and putting him into play in those positions, then he was able to show up. His firm was still great. And so here's the key. AI helps us generate ideas and optimize content, but we pair it with real legal expertise, like in the case with Phil here, so it's accurate, compliant, and it actually builds your authority. Because at the end of the day, authority is what makes AI and other people see you as trustworthy. Data-driven decision-making. Okay, so AI is great at the data, and it's where it really shines. AI can surface insights from data that would take humans or our marketing team hours or even days to analyze. At IMS, we use AI-driven dashboards to monitor campaigns, and we do that in real time. This means if something's not working, we don't wait 3 months to fix it. We can adjust it on the fly. And AI is giving us the insights to be able to make those moves and make them quickly, as soon as they need to be made. It's like, again, reviewing the game film and making adjustments at halftime. And that's how you make sure that you even out your marketing dollars so that every dollar that you spend is moving you closer towards growth, towards winning that game. Your defensive line in AI search. This is where your SEO is super powerful. So we're going to talk about SEO for a second. Some people think, some marketers even think, that SEO is dead. It is not. It's just changed. AI-enhanced search pulls its answers from authoritative, optimized content. And if your site isn't optimized, then you're sort of invisible to AI. And it goes beyond just your website. There needs to be other parties, third-party sources, whether it's reviews or press releases, other companies, talking about how great your law firm is. Think of SEO as sort of like your defensive line. It protects your position on the field so AI can push you forward into scoring range. Without it, you're wide open for competitors to sort of take over or move in. You have to remember that a lot of these folks, as AI grows and its influence and its sort of prevalence within the marketplace grows, people are using ChatGPT in the same way that they use Google. So they're doing their searches within chat. So it's important that you recognize where search is going, what builds authority, and be certain that you're leveraging AI. Now, what happens if you fumble? So what happens if you wait? You get left in the lurch. Well, your competitors step in. They build authority with AI. And suddenly, they're the ones showing up in the AI search results because they moved quickly. Meanwhile, your costs go up, your visibility goes down, and you're left scrambling thinking, how are these younger, less experienced attorneys showing up so much more ahead of me as if they are the market authority? Once they've built that authority, it's really hard to take it back, and that's the fumble. And in this game, turnovers are very costly. So, what's the winning game plan? It's not about one tactic. It's about integration. At IMS, we combine AI-optimized ads, advanced SEO for AI search, authority-building content, and smart CRM automation. That's how Sean and that's how Phil saw such dramatic results. And that's how we help firms like yours dominate their markets as well. Every team needs a coach. Think of IMS as your play caller, making sure that all the pieces work together for the win. So here's our 2-minute drill on our special offer. So we've created what's called the AI Visibility Playbook. And it's our SEO package designed specifically to help estate planning firms get visible and authoritative in AI-enhanced search. And here's the urgency. We only work with one firm per market when it comes to this level of search. So once your competitor locks in with us, that's it. So if you're ready to make sure AI sees you as the authority, don't wait. Go ahead and book a discovery call. You can go to imsrocks.com/apply and do it right there. Just go ahead and book and talk with our team, and we'll help you by analyzing your market and letting you know exactly how we can help. So I'd love to hear from you. So if we have questions, we're going to get to that in just a second. Just remember that AI is not sitting around waiting for you. Your competitors are not waiting for you. So don't fumble this opportunity and get in the game now. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hope you booked that discovery call, and I will shut this down and we'll get into the Q&A. All right, everybody. Hope that was helpful, and we'll take your questions now. I had a couple come through. The first one, Steve asked if there's a replay. He missed the first few minutes. Yes. Once this recording is rendered, we'll send out a replay link so everybody can watch and download right there. The next question is, okay, so the next question is, how does AI decide who gets put into the AI search results, essentially? Okay, so kind of going back to the presentation, just to kind of clarify that a little bit, what AI is looking for are sources that are authoritative and useful. So the useful key plays in there. You'll notice that when the search result comes up and Gemini gives you the AI search result answer, it's typically when that search is phrased as a question. So when people type a question in there, they end it with a question mark. Who's the best estate planning attorney in Kansas City? Well, that's something that AI will do its research and say, well, from my research, this is what I found. If you're looking for somebody that does this or specializes in that, then these are the firms you want to look at. If you live in this area, these are where you want to go. And then down below would be the search results. Well, AI is looking for answers that are, again, authoritative, but also useful. So how well does the content that's being searched answer the question that was put into the search bar? And it can't just be the one article. So it has to be multiple sources. And it's really helpful for AI to have other, like I mentioned in the presentation, other credible sources, other authoritative sources saying, hey, you know, we've done our research as well, and we think that this firm is pretty fantastic and they specialize in this thing, and here's where they answered this question. And so how do we get these other parties to talk about us in that way? Well, that's where your SEO strategy plays in, where we use a press release. So from a third party, we'll write an article about your firm based on those top search engine results that people are typing in. We build our content based off of those searches and then submit that as a press release to authoritative sources, Associated Press as an example, where it's then syndicated to a bunch of other sources that are sort of in your industry. And when they publish that article, they're saying, hey, go look at Steve Worrell. He's pretty fantastic. He has a great article that, in fact, he solves a lot of these problems for people. He has a great article answering these very specific questions, right? And so they're kind of pointing at Steve saying, Steve's the authority on this. He did a great job. We're just referencing him because this comes up in our conversations a lot too. And Steve did a great job of answering that. Well, the AI search reads that article, reads Steve's article, and then looks at Steve's website and blog and sees how often Steve is answering that question and goes, oh yeah, that is authoritative, and lists Steve in the AI search result. Make sense? If Steve's not mentioned by the other publication and all he has is maybe his own article or blog, he's kind of competing against thousands of other attorneys that have the same thing, right? But if Steve has 7 or 8 press releases where they're talking about Steve and how great he is, it's not Steve tooting his own horn. It's other people talking about how great Steve is. And Steve has reviews. AI is going to want to list Steve as saying, hey, we've done our research. We figured all that stuff out so you don't have to. Here's the guy that's the authority on this topic. That's sort of how the AI search results work. And so there has to be, those PR releases don't live on the internet for like forever. They last a period of time, sometimes just a few weeks, sometimes a few months, or even maybe a year or so, that those press releases sort of stay up and are still seen as authoritative. That's why we have to do those consistently. So it's like at least once a month, we got to get that press release out where we're pointing towards the client solving the issue that's searched on consistently. It's a long way to get to the answer. Anybody else have a question related to AI search? That's the only one that came through. Okay, another one popped up here. Let's check that. Oh, that's April. Okay, message from Dave. Thanks for the clarity on that, Dave. Appreciate that. Okay, any other questions? Speak them now. This is a huge topic, guys. And as we see these results come up, we can't say to ourselves things like, well, that's probably just a fad. That's probably going to get less and less. I'll probably see the AI results diminish. No, it's not going to happen. It's going to be expansive. So we're going to see more of this sort of AI recommendations. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point the whole map pack thing is just self-directed based on where you're searching from. There's lots of stuff like that. Okay, another question came through. Okay, please give us a link. Yeah, so Mary, if you check the Q&A, so let's go ahead and post the booking link. April, if you could, in the Q&A. It's also in the chat, Mary. I think that booking link is in the chat. It's imsrocks.com/apply. If anybody just wants to drop their email in the chat, I'll make sure that I have my enrollment team reach out and try to book a call or get you on the calendar if that's easiest to do as well. again, guys, urgency is kind of like we're scrambling, right? Like IMS is working hard to get our content out there so that we're in those search results. And, it's a persistent and consistent thing that you have to be impressive at every turn. And I think that's the difference maker here. So if you see your firm and you think of yourself as, I need to be impressive. I'm a high ticket offer. I work with maybe higher net worth or higher value people that they want that expert level of service. If you say to yourself, I need to be impressive to those people to earn their respect, earn their trust, to be the authority. If that's the mentality that you have, that's the mentality that I have. That's where we're going. And that's what this is intended to do, is to help be impressive at every turn so that we're attracting the high intent buyers in pain, people that actually have a problem to solve, they can afford to solve it with you. Right? That's who we're really trying to attract. And to attract those people, it's my belief we have to be impressive. That, just getting by or the minimal viable product is not enough. Okay. That's just my belief. So that's why this is so important. It's why I kind of put that sense of urgency to it. All right, just check the chat real quick. Any other questions? Patricia. Question regarding review sessions. For example, right now our firm has had many potential clients that are interested in a review of a trust or a will they already have, but do not understand that this session has a price, since a review is already a service. Is there any way AI search can help us pre-filter and segment clients? Oh, Patricia, that is a fantastic question. And absolutely, I think the thing to do would be to recognize that this is an issue, not just for your firm, but also for your clients, because they have a misunderstanding about the value that's there. And one thing that we have to do whenever we're talking about value, and that's really the crux of this, and how AI can help us, first of all, set the precedent for why that's valuable. But remembering that value is the difference between how bad things can be if this is a problem that doesn't get solved, and how good things can be if the problem gets solved. And so the difference in between is where people feel and see real value. Now, if they don't understand the review process, right? Like if they don't understand how if things are outdated and need to be updated, like what the consequences are. So what AI can help us do is, one, help identify the core issues with that, develop content campaigns for that issue, and then use that campaign in your marketing to sort of raise awareness first. That's the first thing we have to do, is help people see that there's an issue with things being out of date. Okay. Then the predictive lead scoring. Who are the people that engage with that message? Okay, or those series of messages. And then then we'll get that group of people, and that's who your firm reaches out to. Because they're the ones that are already worried about it, thinking about it, engaged with it. They see the value, they've come back to it. Okay. And then we can use AI to help create intake forms that help set the framework of the mindset of the prospect before they talk with you. So it can be its own funneled campaign. I would set that meeting with your client coach to talk that through. But that's sort of the direction that you would go. You'd want to use, remember, AI is not just like God. You can just say, make my practice better, and then it just does stuff. You still have to be creative and have operating procedures and understand where the opportunities lie and where things get clunky. Like you just mentioned, they don't understand the value yet of that session and why they should need to pay and all that sort of a thing. So we got to build that framework of value in their mind first and then make the ask. Does that help, Patricia? Starts off talking with your client coach. Michael asks, any specific companies or sites for AI services that are working based on what you're seeing? I'm getting blasted with VA phone answering. Saw a lot of AI things that can make voice videos of your avatar. Curious what you're nerding on these days. Yeah, I'm nerding on a lot, Mike. So let's take a step back and start with the things that are like already at your fingertips and disposal. Okay. So as a client, Okay, Patricia, thank you for the clarity. Good. As a client, we're using Go High Level, I believe, for most all of our clients. Not everybody. Some people use Lawmatics, and Lawmatics is great too. But I'm going to speak just directly into High Level because that's what I use for my marketing, and that's what we engage with. And so I kind of know what tools are available within there, within that platform. But there are chatbots and AI tools baked into High Level. So, Mike, the first thing to do would be to start thinking about where you have opportunity for help. So the first thing would be the chatbots and the AI assistants that can book meetings, send follow-up emails. Like, they just need to be trained. That's a process because, like I mentioned before, maybe this kind of got skipped over, but we have to create a custom GPT for the firm where we train it on your law firm. Like, do you do book a discovery call, or do you have request a consultation? Like, do you do a paid initial meeting, or do you do a free consult in the beginning? How long is that? Do you use Zoom? So I'm just kind of rattling off a few things there, but those are just like basic. But then you get into like the culture of your firm, how you communicate, why your brand speaks. All that stuff gets baked into GPT so that it kind of knows your firm first. Then that gets baked into an AI bot, a virtual assistant, AI assistant, a chat bot, which that robot is in High Level, but that robot doesn't know anything. But the best way for it to learn is for the other robot, the chat GPT, to teach it, okay? Like all the stuff, how to operate. And then we give it some parameters within High Level and then put it into your marketing, put it into your website. And what this will do is it'll ask people questions, it'll engage them on like a personal level. Like, it doesn't feel like name, rank, serial number, please, like bebop, boop. It's not like that, right? It tries to engage based off of the culture and the understanding of your law firm. So it is an in-depth process, but the cool thing is you build it and then it runs. Like, then you've hired that person, right? And they don't take time off and they don't sleep and they don't screw up. The only time that they screw up is if you screwed up the automation, right? Like you gave it the wrong rules. It's going to follow the rules. So then it kind of just works for you. The other thing to do is to use it for your social media and for images. So I have my favorite sort of like image generation. Like, you guys saw my little video I played in the beginning with like the football team. The platform I use is called Leonardo AI. I have a subscription to that. It's not cheap, but it's not super expensive. If you do a lot of social media and you make money through social media, then it's not expensive at all, okay? But in Leonardo, you can create images, you can create videos, you can use ChatGPT to help you with your prompts. You can update like your profile, like your LinkedIn image. Like, I can upload photos of myself and then basically tell Leonardo, hey, I need to look like I have more money than what I actually have. So can you put me in some fancy clothes, like a really expensive suit? And then bada bing, bada boom, I got a really expensive suit on. There's James, right? Like, I could do something like that to where I beef up my profile picture, or I use my logo in a unique way, or I can tell a story like I did with the football, right? Where I visualize a story of like a theme for this webinar and the urgency, and it's football season and I'm a football coach for the youth, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like right up my alley. I know the analogies. So I used that and then just wrote prompts into Leonardo to create scenes for a video. Are you tracking me, Mike? So this is sort of like the cutting edge, really cool stuff that we're using for IMS. And as we get good at it, like really good at it, and understand how to leverage it at scale, we can bring that level of service to our clients. But it doesn't mean you can't get your own Leonardo account and start making some really cool stuff on your own, whether it be images, videos for marketing. I think the biggest things, guys, are leveraging chat GPT, and not necessarily for like your content creation. It can help you with refining. You still have to have the ideas and you have to know what you're doing, right? But what chat can do is it can help you brainstorm things. It can help you get clarity. It can help you create checklists. It can help you find ways to stay on task. You're talking to a person essentially with an 1100 IQ. So not a bad resource of somebody to ask questions to. And I think that's one of the easiest ways to use chat. And as more and more people get into the AI tools, we're going to see more and more people just use chat the way that they use Google. And so where's chat pulling that information from? Well, the same place that Gemini is pulling the information from the web, from authoritative sources, from your SEO, so that the responses that chat gives people, individuals that are doing their research, trying to figure things out, thinking about their will or a trust, or somebody died or has dementia, or they're looking at nursing home costs, or whatever, they're talking to chat, a being with 1100 IQ that's doing the research for them. You see what I'm saying? It's faster than Google. Like, it's doing it for them and giving them multiple sources plus insight into how they can apply it all at once. And so how do we get ourselves and our clients into those results? Well, it comes from leveraging these tools, whether it be for consistency for your social media to build authority, for your content, for your placement, for PR releases, structuring your content in such a way, using AI to structure your content in a way that AI likes and is looking for. So if AI likes things with bullet points written in a certain way, structured with the question stated multiple times in the beginning, like if that's what AI wants and is going to deliver up, then we need to produce our content in the fashion that AI is looking for. So that's knowing what it's looking for. We get that information from AI. You tracking me, Mike? So it's like you have to get into it and start leveraging the tools. So the cool thing about Leonardo, it's more marketing, but you can do image generation, you can do video generation, and it has all the different models in there. And when I mean models, it's not just like one type of rendering agent in there. There's dozens and dozens that do very different and specific things. It's super cool. You can totally nerd out if you wanted to, which I apparently do, maybe a little bit too much, but I'm a marketer. So I use these things and they bring in revenue. So it's not just for funsies, right? But those are the main tools. Go High Level has the built-in chatbots. A lot of AI tools already baked into your Go High Level account through your CRM. Leonardo AI, I think it's probably the best because it has all the different options, all the different models. The prompting is really simple. And then ChatGPT. So ChatGPT will help you get your prompts to use in Leonardo. So you use chat to help you write good prompts. So you tell it kind of what you want and then say, hey, you're an expert prompt writer, chat. Give me a prompt for this model in Leonardo, and it'll give you the prompt that you just put in there and you get your image. So those are the three that I think are really big. In terms of creating a video avatar of yourself, I'm doing that right now. That's one of the things that my assistant and I are working on is, can I recreate James in a really cool outfit and then I just write scripts for him? And so I don't have to get on camera and record and edit and do all that. I can give my clone a script and he can record it in one take, perfectly, right? So yes, all that stuff there's applications for it, for sure, but you don't want to look stupid. You don't want to be caught with your pants around your ankles or toilet paper hanging out the back of your pants, right? You don't want to look like an idiot when you use these AI tools. You want to look professional and good, and you want to be able to make it worth the time. Even though it is AI, it's not free of time. It's time consuming to create those things and put it into a marketing piece that'll actually work. So you have to find ways to leverage it and have it make sure it makes money for you. Otherwise, it's just for fun and kind of cool stuff to work on and nerd a little bit. Okay. So hopefully, Mike, that kind of helps answer your questions. We try to leverage the tools for AI for our clients that move the needle the most. Okay. So the things that actually produce fruit the most, those are the tools that we focus on for our clients. And as those tools get put in place and they have a different level of efficiency, maybe their profit margins grow a little bit, now they can do some more creative things, whether it's using AI for video, creating a voice, creating a clone of themselves so they can start really pounding social media hard to just accelerate the distance between them and the next competitor. Your AI clone or AI generated videos on a consistent basis. And that's what we do. Like, not everything we do is like James recorded it. A lot of it is we pulled from a webinar. We let AI write a new script for it, let AI give us the images, and we put a new ad out there or a new marketing piece like that. Okay. But still in alignment with our culture and our brand and how we service our clients and our culture of serving. Like, we're here to help, not just sell something. Like, there's a reason and a purpose behind everything that we're putting out there, not just because it's cool. Hope that's helpful, guys. Any other questions? That may have been more. Can you say more about how you train the GPT? For instance, do I need to download and upload my blogs, or will it scan my site? What else do I need to do? So you have to have the paid $20 a month GPT, chat GPT. But then, yeah, man, you upload you tell it what you're wanting to do first. So you have to give chat some sort of a directive. So it start off by saying something like, "Hi, chat, I'm working on creating an AI chatbot for my website, and I want to train it on the services that my firm provides, the way in which we operate our client intake process." And you might even say, "I want to do all these things for my firm, and before I give you any training, what else should I think about? What other questions should I ask? Don't give me, don't give me the full answer until you've asked me the questions that I need to be asked first." And then it'll ask you some questions, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, cool." And you'll rewrite that prompt about what you're asking for and looking for. And then once chat has total clarity about what its overall objective is, then you give it your website. Maybe you give it not all your blogs. Maybe you give it maybe you want chat to focus exclusively on the high-end, best clients that want estate planning, for example. And you give it all the best estate planning blogs that you have. Do you see where I'm going with that, Mike? Where you can help the chatbot direct and identify the best people by the content that you give it. So that's the direction that you go. Make sure you give it a directive first. Ask for insight for what else you should be asking or what else you should be aware of before you start uploading a bunch of information. And then once you have those questions answered, rewrite that prompt and then give it the information. And you'll have a custom GPT trained at that point. And there are some steps where you have to log into chat and say, "I'm trying to create a new agent model, I'm going to train a new agent." And so you have to start the process of it's not just start a chat conversation to do this, right? You have to train an agent, click on that in settings, start the process of training an agent, and then get into those prompts. Is that helpful, Mike? Hopefully. I know sometimes you talk about this stuff and you're like, "Am I talking in Greek? Is any of this landing?" So I'm not sure the level of everybody has of understanding about chat and these different AI tools. But the key is, if you don't, you need to hook up with somebody that does and get on top of it. Okay, any other questions? Let me look here. Vlad, what is the interplay between AI and the current channels like Google PPC, LSA, and SEO? Yeah, great. So that's sort of Vlad, that's sort of what we've been talking about most of the webinar, I think, is that the interplay is that the AI robot, Gemini, I'll use Gemini as an example. It's on Google. That's the Gemini bot for its experience, the search generative experience, okay, where it's giving you more than just here's some results. The way that Gemini is pulling, again, is it's looking at who are the authoritative sources out there and how useful is the content in context to the question that was asked on Google. So if people are asking if in your market, one of the main questions that's asked is, what is the cost of a living trust? For example, if that's just one of the top search terms, okay? Well, the Gemini is going to give it an answer something like, the cost of a living trust can vary from state to state and from service to service. On average, if you buy a trust online from Trust and Will, for example, it'll list Trust and Will in there, you're looking at around $500 for a do-it-yourself model. Going to a high-level experienced estate planning attorney like Vlad and like Steve Worrall can cost anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000. Now, why do they list Vlad and Steve both in that AI generative response? Because Vlad and Steve both have multiple articles, both on their website and on third-party sources like maybe Wall Street Journal or Forbes or Smart Money or Kiplinger's or MoneyWise or whatever, one of these other publications where they're featured on those websites with an article that says the cost of a living trust, the real cost of a living trust. What does it cost for a living trust? Question mark. They have multiple articles where they answered that question. And maybe the response isn't $3,000 to $5,000. Maybe the response is the real cost of a living trust is not having one. And here's why. Blah, 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 probate, blah, 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 family squabbles, blah, 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 damaged legacy, right? The hidden costs. But the title is about the cost. And we talk about the cost of estate planning consistently throughout the article. Okay, and those reasons, because Steve and Vlad both have multiple articles answering that very specific question, both on their website, on a blog, mentioned in social media, and on periodicals online from third-party credible sources, they get listed in the AI response. Okay, and so running LSAs, great. Running Google PPC, great. I haven't seen where, and you know, Google says this has always denied this, but I've not seen to where if you're running LSAs or you're running PPC that you then have a better shot of being rendered in the AI search results. I've not seen that. I've not seen anybody say that that's true. Now, there used to always be like that kind of sinking suspicion when you're trying to optimize and get your website ranked for search in the organic listing, and then you happen to put $1,000 a month into your PPC budget, and then voila, boy, you're all of a sudden there you are in the organic listing, right? Even though Google says that has absolutely no bearing on our search results. Like, okay, so Vlad, to answer that question, like the underbelly of that question, tough to say. Okay, Google says has no bearing. I haven't seen that it has any bearing, but old James that's seen, Google PPC and organic sort of go hand in hand a little bit, has his suspicions that there may be some validity in that. At the end of the day, it's never a bad idea to take up more real estate on Google's page one, whether it's in the form of your LSA, your PPC, your map pack, your search generative response, your organic listings. Like if you're in all of it, that's the best, right? Like as much real estate as we can take up on that first page. All right, guys. Boy, a lot of you stuck around for the Q&A, which is great. This is a big deal. And I think all of us are seeing it and are like, how do we respond? What are we supposed to do? And the response is not sit on your thumbs. I can tell you that. It's something. It's either Mike Bieterstadt going, I'm going to get that GPT and see if I can train a model. Like, okay, cool. Good job doing something. Stepping into the game and leveraging some of these tools, and at least trying to learn. I believe wholeheartedly, I'm 100% confident that the tools that we provide in terms of authority with rank, making sure you show up in those search results, leveraging content, only reaching out to the best clients who are pre-qualified, that's the best uses of AI for your firm right now. That's going to move the needle the most and help you be in the AI game. That opens the door for you to start using those AI chatbots. That opens the door for you to start using a virtual assistant to schedule your meetings, like all of that stuff. It produces the need for that where you can actually leverage those tools, and it's worth spending the money, investing the time, making it work, making it impressive. at every turn. All right, guys. So if you haven't booked a call yet, make sure you do that. imsrocks.com/apply. Get on this. We can definitely help. We're definitely paying attention to it as much as we can for ourselves and for our clients, wanting you guys to stay cutting edge. By and large, lawyers, for the most part, are laggards. They lag behind. They wait and see. Well, I'll wait and see if Tommy gets that AI thing going and see how he does with it before I jump in. Well, Tommy's going to be wealthy and you're going to be left behind, like that's just the way it's going to go. And you're going to be, well, shoot, I should have done what Tommy did. Well, yeah, probably. So this is just one of those kind of pivotal moments where we got to jump in when it's still early and there's still opportunity. And the rest of the sort of legal community is like, well, let me see how that plays out. And they just sit in the sidelines and wait. We have to take advantage of those people or of those situations, not of those people, but of those situations. All right, guys, have a great day. Appreciate you all being here. Next month, Jennifer is going to be talking about webinar marketing and leveraging some of these AI tools into your webinar. And so the cool thing about that, just as I'm going to hit on it a little bit because I think it's important, but if you talk to chat for a little bit before you create your webinar and talk about who the best clients are and what their buying patterns are and what their biggest fears and frustrations are and why they hire attorneys in the first place, and we get all that information, now when we record our webinar, we can record it in such a way that we can cut little slivers of snippets from it, pre-thought out, and then use AI to disseminate those messages to the appropriate people. To one, promote the webinar, but two, just go ahead and get a call booked just from the clip. They don't necessarily have to watch the whole webinar to be bought into the process, to understand that they have an issue that's not going to fix itself and that you have the solution. So it's a cool way to sort of use the webinar as its own funnel in and of itself, but then like a bunch of little micro funnels as well. So I think that's going to be sort of the future of webinar marketing, is leveraging AI to pull out these clips and then show them to the appropriate people at the appropriate time. Very cool stuff. She'll be talking about that stuff and all the webinar stuff in October. So that'll be the next topic that we have coming up. So pay attention to those emails. It's going to dovetail very well with some of the SEO and the AI uses. Okay. Don't shy away from it. Step in and leverage it where others are not. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for your time today. And yeah, God bless you all. Appreciate you.
That's a wrap on this edition of the Marketing Lawcast. Thanks for joining us. Head over to imsrocks.com. If you're ready to skyrocket your firm's marketing, don't hesitate to book a free strategy call with our team right on our website. Here's to your success.